Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1987 film, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warrior. Of course, this is the third film in the Nightmare on Elm Street film series. It's talking about the original series. So it's Robert Englund, and it does bring back two of the actors from the original film. John Saxon is one as the sheriff, and I forgot the name of the actress who plays his daughter. Both of them come back in this film, and that's a welcome change. Of course, this film takes place in a insane asylum for teenagers, or teenagers with emotional problems. And there's this new doctor who comes in and works in this clinic and in this mental hospital for teenagers. Excuse me. And they all have, problems sleeping. And they're all talking about like this boogeyman or this demon or something, who's and all these teenagers in this hospital are all telling the doctors that this guy comes to kill them if they're sleeping, so they can't fall asleep because otherwise they're going to die. And all these kids are they're all from Elm Street. So they keep bringing back kids from Elm Street. Because Freddy Krueger is still killing them, even though most of them all were dead from the first two movies anyway. But anyway, in this movie, not only was it good that now you have people who are teenagers who are in a insane asylum who's actually telling the truth, and like a typical, it doesn't have to be a horror film, but was like a typical plot device. That when somebody is telling someone the truth, whether it be a psychiatrist or a police officer or whatever, or the parents, whatever, if they're telling the truth, nobody believes them. And when they tell them a lie, then they believe the lie. And that's what happens in this film. And of course, not only is, I think it was like Nancy is the character's name, not only she came back, but the main star in this film was actually Patricia Arquette, a very young, I think it was about 18-year-old Patricia Arquette was in this movie, and she plays the main character who can have like a psychic ability that wherever you are in your dream, you have that ability to fight Freddy Krueger. She has that ability, and she can bring other people into her dream, and wherever thing they dream of, like I say, this one guy who's like a superhero, he has like a superhero ability or whatever, or another person who is disabled, who's in a wheelchair, he could walk. And in the dream, he could walk. Or another guy, he could punch through walls. He could could punch out Freddy Krueger and stuff. And that's pretty much what the premise of this movie. So, okay, since nobody believes us, let's do this experiment. We all go and you bring us into your dream, and we can all fight Freddy Krueger together. And Patricia Arquette says, okay, let's do it that way. And Freddy Krueger realizes that the other girl who he didn't kill in the original movie is back, and I said, it's you, like that. And one of the more better kills in the Friday the 13th movie, and I would say in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, happened in this movie where there's one girl who gets killed, fairly early on in the film, and she's watching TV. And Freddy Krueger reaches through the TV, grabs her, and says, "You ready for prime time, bitch?" And he jams her head through the TV. That's one of the best kills, and that is one of the better lines, that's in this film, was in that particular moment. And I thought that was the best line in the whole movie. Where he says, "You're not ready for prime time, bitch," and he kills her. But Patricia Arquette, she was kind of hot in this movie, and of course, years later, almost 20 years later, she starred in the TV show Medium. So she was. It was nice to see where she was young and kind of hot when she was in this movie. And of course, the premise is a psychiatrist, or a new psychiatrist, is working with these kids, and who actually believes these kids that Freddy Krueger is coming in their dreams and killing them. Finds out, talks to his nun, who he later finds out was actually Freddy Krueger's mother, and she tells him what happened, that she got raped by 50 maniacs, and Freddy was her son, Meanwhile, at the end of the movie, you find out that the nun was actually Freddy Krueger's actual mother. So she's telling the story to the psychiatrist how she got raped by his 50 maniacs and 50 guys who was in an insane asylum. So he's a product of 50 maniacs raping this one girl, who and of course ended up getting pregnant and gave birth to him. And she gave him the idea of how possibly to stop Freddy Krueger from killing people in their dreams, and it's by giving him a proper, Christian burial. So okay, how do we find the bones? So he gets Josh Sexton, who is the father of the girl Nancy from the original movie, digs up Freddy Krueger's bones, and that was the most interesting special effects. You get like a stop motion animation of Freddy Krueger's skeleton. So you have Freddy Krueger's skeleton fighting the psychiatrist and Josh Sexton's characters. Meanwhile, you have the spirit of Freddy Krueger killing, the people in the insane asylum in their dreams. So you have two. So Freddy Krueger is attacking people on two fronts now in this film, which kind of because you have to have like interesting premises in these films to make it worth watching it worthwhile. And eventually the psychiatrist and John Sexton's character eventually stopped Freddy Krueger and actually did bury him, and that's how. And the psychiatrist starts pouring holy water on Freddy Krueger, and that's how they stopped him in the third movie by using holy water. And that's how they stopped him, and that's how, pretty much how the movie ends. And Nancy, the girl from the first who survived Freddy in the first movie, gets killed in this one. Major spoiler. But Patricia Arquette lives. I think she gets killed off in the next film, which I haven't seen yet. I'm planning to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, and it's probably going to be the next movie I'm probably going to review. But for Friday the 13th 3, I thought that Friday the 13th Part 3, The Dream Warrior, is just as good as the original film. I think a lot of people have said that Friday the 13th 3 is the best one after the first one, and that's how I feel about it. I think it was just as good as the first one, maybe even better, because you have the psychological aspect of it, where nobody believes these people being attacked by Freddy Krueger in their dreams. So I thought that was kind of an interesting concept right there. But for the most part, this movie was very entertaining. I thought that Friday the 13th 3 was very, very good. So I recommend, after the first movie, check out Friday the 13th. I'm goofing up on this thing. Check out Nightmare on Elm Street 3 after watching the first one. Skip over the second one and watch Friday the 13th Part 3. Nightmare on Elm. I did it again. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 because I should mention that nobody from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 appears in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So I should point that out. So you can skip over the second one and watch the first one and the third film of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. So this is my review of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warrior. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on your Facebook pages. And you can check out I know the cough was coming. You can check out all my reviews and online on my YouTube channel, also at rowdyc.com. It's RWDY.com. Homepage review of Christine Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.